Hello and good morning. My name is Shani, and I am going to do a quick little review of the Nespresso Next. It's one of the newest machines from Nespresso that has come out, and I had a lot of doubts as to whether I wanted to buy it, whether the water would be hot enough, whether the coffee would be flavorful enough to justify the cost. So today I'm not going to bother with the unboxing and everything. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the temperature of the water coming out of the brewer, and I'm going to brew a lovely pod of Mexico. And maybe I'll do a little bit of a review of the brew as well after. Right now I'm going to pause the review, and I'm going to get the thermostat and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. Sorry about the hand. And the thermostat that I've chosen is the Taylor thermostat. I'm having some issues with focusing here. There we go. So I'm going to turn that on. Now I know that a lot of the viewers are pretty much from the States. What I'll do is I'll leave it at Fahrenheit, and you can always convert to the temperature that you're looking for in your region. So as you can see here, I have the lid. I've put the water in it. So if you basically take the machine, the water port is on the back. As you know, that the cup disposal is on the side panel. So this doesn't actually have a little hook or teeth into it. It just basically clips in nice and solid like that. So now you have the water in. Now that water I took was pretty much cold tap water, so I'm kind of hopefully not jinxing the test a little bit at this point in time. But what I'll have to do is I'll let the water heat up, and I'll get my cup. So just a moment here, and I will pause the video while I'm doing this. Okay, so normally I would preheat my coffee mug, because I do that with any brew that I do. So the machine here, if you haven't seen it before, the hole here is where your pods disperse. Now, one thing I've noticed that is a little unusual, and I'm not so fond of it, and you may not be able to see it, is that in here the water seems to sit, which I don't like the idea of, as it can possibly contribute to bacteria and whatnot. So that is one little aspect of the, hang on here, I know I'm swinging you around and I apologize. Just a moment. I thought maybe just leaving the machine open for night purposes would alleviate it, but and it's funny because there is a hole down at the bottom, so technically there is a small little drain where it should kind of drain, but there's just that little bit of residual water that stays in the bottom, so I'm kind of mindful to clean it up afterwards. So okay, we have the pod. I just place that in there, bring the lid down, and then you slide the switch into the lock position. We have our trusty thermometer here. So what I'll do now is I've just preheated the water. I'm going to hit go, and I'm going to take the temperature out of the water when it goes. Just want to make sure that I've got the thermometer going into the so that everybody can see. So just bear with me here. So you've got the pre-wetting phase. You see the coffee coming out of there is pretty warm. Now bear in mind though, the thermostat is also not fully submerged into the liquid, so it's just basically pouring around it. So what I'll do after the brew is done is I'll submerge the thermostat in as well. So you get an indication of the actual sitting temperature in a cup that has not been chilled or pre-warmed, which I'm usually like to do. So if we put that into the water, Without the cup being chilled, we're looking at so I'd say on average it kind of barks at about 167. If I bring it down to the bottom, it because of the coolness of the cup, it's considerably less. If I bring it up a little bit closer to center, it increases. So again, there's the mitigating factors of the cool cup. I also did use cold water in the reservoir, so I'm not sure if that would make a difference, or if I brewed a second pot, whether it would make another difference temperature-wise. But basically, you can see that the machine is pretty quiet. It's a nice little machine. It takes up very little space, and the coffee I've found is quite enjoyable. So I've not actually had the Mexico before. I'm still pretty new to the machine, but you do have your crema. I'm not a huge fan of crema in my coffee. I don't mind it for the espresso and whatnot. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause. Actually, I'm going to stop the video. I think pretty much I've shown you everything that the machine does. So for the temperature, you can make your own judgment, bearing that it's cold water. I'm not going to run 4 or 5 experiments on different pods. As you can see, it dumps out the pod in the bottom for recycle, which is nice. And you're provided with a nice little recyclable bag from Nespresso, so that you can either bring it in yourself, or you can actually have you can drop it off at Canada Post. And I think that's a pretty good way to go. I've done that. I actually have, from my original line, I have, just a moment, I have a little bag that's ready to go. I was just trying to give Canada Post a break with all of the COVID stuff that we've got going on right now. And anyways, I will create a new video for the review of the Colombian coffee. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it helpful. Have a wonderful Nespresso day.